Can you be a lawyer if you are a naturally shy person? The short answer is yes, and I'll tell you why. This is coming from someone who is more on the introverted side. And when I was in uni, I was never really the one that was contributing to class discussions. Like, I was never that person in class that was always having something to say, whether it's a lot or every once in a while. For most of my semesters at university, it was I hardly participated in class discussions. And I did feel bad about it because I was like, if I'm going to be a lawyer, and I can't even contribute to class discussions, how am I able to do it? Well, let's get into it. First of all, if you live in Australia, this is 100% applicable to you, but after you finish your law degree, you have to do your practical legal training, aka your PLT. The PLT is the last mandatory step for you to do to get your graduate diploma of legal practice before you can apply for admission as a lawyer. And the practical legal training is where you actually learn the skills that you need as a lawyer. And that includes client interview skills, talking in a court, a lot of the speaking aspects of being a lawyer. For example, all the assessments that you would get in the practical legal training, it could be a client interview, for example, or doing a mediation, a negotiation, or pretending that you were in a hearing or that you were in a court, you're speaking in front of the court. And I'll admit to you, I was nervous about the PLT because of all of those verbal assessments. But something that I'm really glad that I realized early on is that the PLT is literally your safe space. It is supposed to get you out of your comfort zone, and it does feel scary, but it's one of those things that once you complete the verbal assessment, you feel so much better. So basically, you're not going to finish your law degree at uni and then go straight into practicing law. That's why it's a really good thing that you get to do the PLT, where you get to practice all of those verbal skills, anything that involves talking. You don't have to worry about always participating in a class discussion, because the assessments that are verbal, that is where you really get to practice being a lawyer. The next one is that most of the time you're going to start off with emails. You're going to start off with written communication, written correspondences. But of course, when you do these different written correspondences, whether you're replying to a client email, you're replying to a client's question, a whole bunch of things. And of course, the more you write it, the more it gets into your brain. And of course, the more that it gets into your brain, the more knowledge that you gain. The more knowledge that you gain, the more confidence that you have, because you have more knowledge. For example, in my first law firm role in a property law firm, I had no property law experience, but then when I started replying to emails, replying to clients' questions, all of that knowledge get into my brain. So when a client actually calls me instead of emailing me with a question, because I have all that knowledge from, replying to other people's emails, I felt more